Hey folks, so one of the pain points with .NET development has always been a missing visual designer. If you're building modern cross-platform apps with .NET and Uno platform, we have the perfect solution for you, and it's called Hot Design. So let's get into it. First up, Uno platform is the most flexible open source stack for you to build modern cross-platform .NET apps. From a single shared code base of C# and XAML, you get to build an app that runs on iOS or Android for mobile, web browsers through WebAssembly, and Windows, macOS, and Linux, and other embedded devices. So on top of this very stable foundation of an open source stack, we have built up Uno Platform Studio. This is essentially a set of tools that really elevates developer productivity. And a big part of it is Hot Design that works hand in hand with Hot Reload. And the goal here is to keep developers in the flow. You can keep your running app and design and modify your app while your app is still running. And we already have lots of great documentation on how you can get situated and started with Hot Design. We show you all the different aspects of the Hot Design experience. But let me start from scratch and show you what that dev experience looks like. With Uno Platform, developers have the choice of starting on any OS, any IDE, or any AI agent. In this case, I'm going to choose what's quickest for me, and that's command line. I have a simple empty folder here, and I'm going to new up a new Uno Platform app. So let's do .NET new and Uno app. Now, this is going to scaffold a very simple template that just says hello world and nothing more, but know that there are lots of templates and wizards to help you out from a better starting point. Let's open up this newly created app in my IDE. So this is VS Code now. I will bump up the fonts. We don't need AI chat right now. Now, without showing any code, it automatically recognizes that it's a cross-platform app, and here are all my target frameworks. Let's run this on desktop. So I will go ahead and run this app, and for the first time, it's going to pull down all of its dependencies and build it on Net 10 desktop and launch it. So what you will see here is a desktop application, but it's trying to get you used to Hot Design. If this is your first time using it, we show you the different modes. But once you're comfortable with it, you can say, okay, I got it, and it won't show you again. So let's do that, and let's get a little comfortable with Hot Design. So this is your running app, and it just says hello Uno Platform, and it's actually launched you inside the Hot Design experience. If you don't want it, you can click on this exit Hot Design, and it goes away. And then you can click on the fire icon again, and it comes back in. Notice how I do have Hot Reload wired up here. So it's saying, hey, I see your code that's running in your IDE, and this is your running app. This is your design surface, and I'm going to keep things in sync between your code in your IDE and whatever changes you make on the design surface. Now, this being Hot Design, you get a few extra things right out of the gate. So this is a super simple Hello World app, but I can see what my app looks like in dark mode or light mode, right? I can see what my app would look like on a mobile form factor, on a slightly bigger, let's say a tablet form factor, on a desktop, or even wider devices. And if I'm careful about lining up things to be pixel perfect, I can really zoom in and I can make sure things line up, and I can just do an auto fit to make sure it fits the screen resolution that I'm on. So this is just the getting started Hot Design experience, and that's the toolbar that you see up top. Now, the toolbar also shows you three different modes. One is interactive, where you can see like the two sides kind of gray out, and now I can interact with the app just as I would on a touch mobile device or tablet or desktop with mouse and keyboard. Everything like your click and pinch and zoom, all interactions will just work because you're interacting with the app. Then you can get into a design mode, which is where you're actually suspending the app a little bit, and gone are the days of differences between your design time and your runtime. It's all runtime, and we have your live real-time data with it. So that's a really nice dev experience. Now, in design time, what you can do is get a little comfortable with all the different aspects of Hot Design. So I can click anywhere in my app, and now I'm not actually interacting with it. It's taking me into a selection mode so I can work on it. So up top here, you have what's called an elements tree. Normal .NET apps get to be, get to have a pretty diverse set of visual tree hierarchies, so you can really choose which one you want to work on. This being a super simple example, it doesn't really showcase that. I'll show you that in a different example. But what you have here is a toolbox. This is a collection of all the types of UI that you can ever want to put in your app. Any, custom user controls, any third-party UI, You get it all, and you can just drag and drop into your app, and it lights up. Once I do select a particular UI element, let's just go into main page, and I can choose that text block. So now it kind of highlights you and shows you that that's the UI element that you have highlighted. That's the one you want to work on. What opens up here is a property window. And this lets me edit all the different things that I want to change about the UI element in question. We kind of try to organize some of the properties into the smart ones, which are the commonly used ones, or you can click on all and actually see all the properties for that particular UI. So that's the design time experience. Now, if I go back into interactive, I can go back to interacting with the app, or I can now go into agent mode. This is the age of AI. So what you have here is a custom agent that is called the Hot Design Agent. And this Hot Design Agent has the context of the exact page that you're on. You can add more things to it. You can give it a view model, and you can say, work off this. You can actually bring in some images and say, make me something that looks like it. And it's a very smart agent. It's grounded, and it knows exactly what to do. So let's actually go do that. So this is a super simple, Hello World app. But what if I wanted to change up this UI? So let's change this to say, let's build a modern login page, right? So first app or first screen of my app, and I want a login page. So I'm going to hit generate here. Now, this being AI, it's going to think for a little bit. And if you give it, some imagery, some more context, it's going to be a little bit more grounded. But, off and running it goes, and it's trying to build you a new UI. Now, while it's doing its thing, this being AI, it's just going to think for a little bit. Let me show you a different aspect of Hot Design. So let's minimize this particular instance of VS Code, and I'm going to show you a different app here. This one here is called Uno Chefs. This is one of our open source, classic showcase apps that really showcases, the dev experience when you have a big, code base at your hands. And that's, the reality for lots of enterprise apps. This is a fairly complex app, as a lot of, views, view models, and lots of interactions and behaviors, all types of things. But the fundamentals are still the same. It's a cross-platform app that just happens to run everywhere. I am going to run it back on desktop again. So let's fire up another instance of Hot Design, and we're going to look at a different app, which is more complicated than our Hello World example. So up comes our Chefs app, and this one does remember where I left it last time around. So same experience. I have the toolbar up here. I have the elements tree up here. I have the toolbox up here. And once I select something, I have the properties on the right-hand side. Now let's go into interactive mode, and I want to actually get inside the app a little bit here. I'm going to skip past some of these login screens. And now I have the classic experience. Let's go back into design mode. This is Uno Chefs, and it's showing me lots of recipes, and it's got page navigations and other things built in. One of the really nice things is when you have a complex screen like this, you have lots of visual hierarchies. And we have what's called a scope selector up here that kind of lets you zoom into the part of the UI that you really want to work on. So if I do a drop down here, you can see it shows me the whole hierarchy. Like, did you want the navigation frame? Did you want the home page? Did you want the trending now section, right? So I can really, drill down and work on exactly the piece of UI that I want. Or if you see something visually, I can just double click on it, right? So if I double click on that particular UI, it kind of takes me into main page or home page, right? That's where it notices that I'm clicking on. It's inside of a grid, and I'm looking at my home page. Now let's do a little bit more. Let's say I want to, work on that particular feed view or that collection view that's showing me a list of recipes. So I can double click on that. And now it highlights and it says, hey, you are looking at that particular feed view. And it's also highlighting that in the, visual tree here as well. You can see it's in a scroll viewer and an auto layout, and that's my feed view. Now this, again, the app is still running, right? So that's the benefit. So now I can look at all the properties of the feed view while my app is running, and I can select the value template here. So now you see the real benefit of Hot Design. You are working on one key aspect of the UI while your app is working, but you have kind of zoomed in and you're just starting to work on that. So this clearly is a collection type view, and it's bound to some real data. So I can click on that again, and I can say, hey, why don't you show me the item template? So now we're talking data templates. So why don't you show me the item template that's bound? And this is where you really see Hot Design shine. So no longer are we dealing with fake data and the difference between runtime and design time. This is real runtime data. And I can see the collection. I can, click through and I can see how data binding looks like for every element of my, feed view, or I can see aspects of the data template. I can still click on anything in my view and I can, edit away all of the properties. And once I'm done, I see a visual hierarchy here. I can, go back. I can go back to the home page and I'm back to the main page and all of my changes are brought right over. So this is really the power of Hot Design, where you work with complex UI, but you get to zoom in and focus on one particular part of UI. The scope selector really helps, and you are binding UI to real data and working a lot, right? So that's the Hot Design experience in Chefs. Now let's go back and see if our AI agent made any progress. And let's go back to the app here. There we go. So I essentially fired off a command or a prompt to the agent to say, hey, can you build me a modern login page? I literally did not give it anything else. So it tried to use some imagination. Yeah, that looks, fairly modern and nice and fresh. So it's given me, a nice little login page here with an email address, password, and the usual flow. So notice how it's actually not applied the UI design yet. So this is the nice thing with Hot Design Agent. I can iterate on this, right? That's the classic thing with any type of AI agentic experience. You don't have to, accept what's on it. You can just iterate. You can say, no, I really want like, sharp buttons or rounded corners or things like that. And it'll iterate, and you can go back to the first design or the second design as your, as your needs and whatever AI agents come up with as your needs demand. And once you hit apply, that's when we actually will apply all of the code changes that the AI agent came up with back into your code, back into your IDE, right? So that's the Hot Design experience, and it really is here to make developers more productive. So get started on the docs and look at all the different aspects of Hot Design and how it can help. Again, we are not dealing with anything fake. It's a real runtime data on a runtime of your app. While it's in motion, you are able to design and tweak and have fun with your app UI, and you have a custom agent that can really help if AI is what you want to do. So that's a quick look at Hot Design, and this is again meant to elevate developer productivity for anybody doing .NET and cross-platform apps with Uno platform. That's it, and have fun with Hot Design. We can't wait to see what you build. Thank you.